Hello, children. I'm Vicky Carlton, and I love to read kids' Bible stories. Today, I'm going to talk to you about St. Matthew. Now, the church that I go to is a very old church, very beautiful church, and it's having a birthday at the moment. It's 150 years old, and our patron saint is St. Matthew. So I'm going to show you what one artist thinks St. Matthew looks like. Now we don't really know what St. Matthew looks like. But I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what we do know about St. Matthew and what we can learn from him as well. And at the end, if you would like to actually have a copy, a worksheet that's got pictures of the disciples to colour in, we will give you a link so that you can download this as well. So I'm going to read to you from the Holy Bible. This is the International Children's Bible. And I'm going to start from the Gospel according to St. Matthew at chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 9. Okay. And it's all about how Jesus actually chose Matthew to be a disciple. So you can see in my background, I've got a Bible place, haven't I? I've got the flat roof houses, and you can see the road and the hill there and the palm trees in the distance. Okay, so Jesus was walking along and named Matthew. Now, Matthew was just sitting in a little booth, and the booth was for a tax collector. Now, I want to tell you a bit about tax collectors. Tax collectors were not very liked. In Bible times, people really hated them because they were collecting money for the Roman government. You see, in Bible times, the Romans were in control of where Jesus lived, and they collected money. The Romans collected money, and they took the money away from the Jewish people, and they used it for whatever they wanted to use it for, and they called it taxes. Now, we still pay taxes today, but we pay taxes to our own country, and the money is used for buses and trains and roads and all sorts of useful things. But back in those days, the people who collected the taxes, they were able to be a bit dishonest. They were able to tell people, oh, you owe this much tax, when actually they didn't really owe that much at all. And then they would keep the difference. They would keep some of the money. So nobody liked tax collectors much. And that is why this story is amazing, that Jesus actually asked a tax collector to be one of his special followers. So Matthew was just sitting there in the tax office, and Jesus walked up to him, and that would have given Matthew a really big surprise that Jesus would walk up to him, and he said, "Follow me." And you know what? Matthew just stood up and he followed Jesus. Isn't that amazing? He didn't sit there and go, why? Why should I? Tell me a bit more about what I'll get if I follow you. He just stood up and he followed him. He was obedient. All right. He did what Jesus wanted. So then Jesus had dinner at Matthew's house. All right. So Matthew arranged a nice big, probably very yummy dinner because he had quite a lot of money. All right. And lots of other tax collectors and lots of people who were really not very nice people. They came to the dinner, and Jesus was invited as well with his other followers. Now, the Pharisees, they were like the ruling people of the synagogue for the Jewish people. They saw this and they used it as an excuse to criticize Jesus. They were always trying to get Jesus into trouble. And so they said to Jesus's followers, why does Jesus eat with all these sinners? Why does he eat with all these bad people? Now, Jesus heard what the Pharisees said. He could hear what they said. So he said, you know what? People who don't sin at all right, healthy people, all right, they don't need a doctor. So if you don't sin at all, well, then you don't need God. You don't need Jesus, do you? But you know what? There's nobody in the world who does not sin. We all do bad things. Jesus knew that. And he wanted people to understand that by choosing Matthew, who was a tax collector, everybody was welcome with God. Everybody is welcome and everybody will be forgiven. So it was really, really special. So Jesus said, go and learn what this means. I want faithful love more than I want sacrifices. I didn't come just to invite good people to the kingdom of heaven. I came to invite sinners. And you know what? That's all of us. We all do bad things and we all pray to God for forgiveness and we all try to make sure we don't do those things again. And Jesus helps to strengthen us. So, important man, because he was one of Jesus's followers, but also a lot of people think that Matthew wrote the gospel according to St. Matthew, and it's one of the 4 gospels in the Holy Bible. So often when you look at pictures of St. Matthew, people don't really know what he looks like, but because they didn't have photos, but they often show him with a book, right, and doing some writing, because Matthew was a person who had to write down amounts of money. He was probably very good at maths, but he also had to write down people's names and how much they owed, all those sorts of things as well. So he is traditionally thought of as a scribe, as a person who does lots of writing as well. So he's a very important follower of Jesus. And his story shows us that no matter how much other people don't like us, no matter how many bad things we do, Jesus will always welcome us. He will always welcome us. So thank you for listening to my story. And if you would like to download the activity sheet of all the 12 disciples, we will put a link so that you can download it as well. All right. Thank you. And see you next time. Bye.
For more of Victoria Carlton's tips, go to YouTube and search Victoria Carlton Programs. Victoria's products are available on Teachers Pay Teachers. They cover literacy, emotional intelligence, and Sunday school lessons. Victoria's website address, blog, and email address are on the screen in front of you. Victoria Carlton reserves the right of copyright on all her products.